Good evening, guys. Welcome to Rooks and Hooks, Road to 2000. Little bit something extra today. Got the Saitek President. It's an auto-sensory chessboard from 1993. Competence to chess specialists in Dorset. No longer around, but they did these selective search magazines. Well, Eric Hallsworth did. But if you're into chess computers and you're fascinated by that, then check out Hierarch's website. There's a chess forum on there. Steve, the admin, organizer, creator, fantastic bloke. I don't know if you can see that. The reflections in the webcam, right? That's the chessboard. That's what I have. So if there's no one to play, then it's always good to have a game against the old computer there. As you can see, I'm wrapped up nice and warm. And if I nip over to the website, this is the position that I got to. And it took me 3 attempts, but we got there in the end and I won. Now, Stockfish obviously is plus 3.7. It's rated 2800, isn't it? The President is around 2200. But if we backpedal, and this is where we got up to. So I was playing as black. It captured the extra 2 pawns, so we was 2 pawns down at this position. So when we played the rook here, I thought to myself, right, we've got the bishop trapped. So we played the g6 first. No, we didn't. So we played the rook. The bishop came down here. I inputted it earlier, so we didn't play g6, we played this way. That's right. King takes f1. Then we played g6, and then it was rook g8, bishop g8, king e7 to come and protect the f7 pawn, and then king e2 brought the bishop back to b4. King came to d3, king f8, bishop h7, king g7. So at this stage, I've got half a chance. Maybe not against people higher rated than 2200 and Stockfish for the likes of that Fritz 16. Whichever chess software you use, it's a win for white. But I thought, I've done well here. So bishop takes the pawn, king takes the pawn. Now the mistake is here. If you look at the board now, you've got the pawn here on the f file and you've got the e pawn here. So if we take with the pawn, which I did on the second time around just to experiment, this just marches home, so there's no stopping. But if you've got the pawn on this file, it obviously can put a halt on this advancing, so that's why we take with the king. And then king e4. So we got to this position. So play continue. There's 23 moves. So we had king to d3, e4, sorry, and then it was g6 to f6. So we've got the king. I was expecting the king to come here, but they played f2, f3. Engine saying f4, but they played f2, f3. Then we played f6 to e6, so we've got some opposition to play for. My first plan, first time around, I was able to get this bishop and this pawn up to here, and I was going to take this pawn. This pawn was going to promote to queen, but the way the computer worked, it had advanced these pawns all the way to here, and the king had to come back, and I was stuck here basically. And then obviously these got more advanced up the board and there was no stopping. So that was one way. The play continued then. King to e6, h2, h4. So it's already, wanting to. So from 5.4 it's dropped. Now the developer of the Saitek President is Franz Morsch, and for some reason it didn't have, there was the Mephisto, the Novak Citrine, and they all had the endgame theory inputted into it. For some reason, the Saitek didn't have it, or it didn't have king opposition put in either. So it's I mean, it's a strong machine, but some factors it's weaker on other things to other machines, which is a bit of a shame, really. But you know, we're talking 1993, 2003, 13, 23, 34, 31 years ago. So everything's come on in leaps and bounds since then. So anyway, enough waffling on. In h4 was played, b4 to e1. So I came to the back here to try and get some control from this side of the board. h4, h5. So the computer's like, we don't care about that bishop, we just want to get this pawn promoted. h4 to h5, and then b6, b5. So why not advance this pawn? g2, g4. So they've got a triage of pawns here, all on light squares. So the bishop is immune, or they're immune to the bishop, should I say. So b5, b4 was played. Then g4, g5. e1 to c3. Okay, so then this was the idea that if the pawn takes, cracking move, if the pawn takes, sorry, we just carry on up. Okay, so this is what I mean about the Saitek not knowing this situation. So whereas the stronger machines would, or machines of similar capabilities would not miss this. So h5, h6, and we've got all the time in the world. f7 to f5 check. So if I'm taking here, we haven't got enough time to promote and get back. We simply haven't. So with f5 played, h5, h6, hold on, bishop, let's go back. So yeah, hang on, we played bishop to c3, sorry about that, h5, h6, that's correct. So with this pawn here, we played f5. So if the take en passant, we've got enough time to get the king and get the two pawns. So check, king can go to d3. We can still come back here, but then the king's stuck here, because if it takes here, let me change the colour, if it takes here, then this pawn obviously promotes. So with f7, f5, e4 takes, e4 to f4. Oh right, okay, so the king's gone there, right? What's Stockbridge saying? d3 plus 44.2. What about g takes f5 en passant? We take, oh, b takes c3, b3, king d3, b2, king c2. Oh yeah, so this is what I mean about the machine not being strong. So we played, I played h5, h6, then we played f5, king's gone to f4, e6 to f7 to retreat to get to these squares, b2 takes c3, and then it missed king takes f5, b3, but it took the bishop, because I think the way this machine works, it's grabbing material as opposed to positional play. An advantage there. So it sees I've lost the bishop earlier, I want to get that bishop back. That's how they think. So because of that, we've carried on to b3, h6, h7, king to g7, g5, g6 is played, and then b3, b2, e3 to f4, e3 to f4, hold on, how's that possible? I think it's e3, e4. Oh, it's my writing. Yeah, e4's played. So we've gone f takes e4. Got all the time in the world. F takes e4. Promote. And there you have it. We somehow, third time around. So this wasn't first time. This was third time around from just working out the move order. So I'll just do play continued. So c3, c4. Then I had check here. b1, f1 check. f4 to e5. f1 to c4. h7, h8 gets promotion. We take e5 to f6. Then we can take here. C takes d4 check. King came to e5 was played to block check. So did we go in d4, d8 check? And then the king came to f7. d8 to g8 check. f7 to f6, g8 to g7 check, f6 f5, h8 to g8, e5 to e6. I'm just playing it through now. g8 to f8, e7 check, and then f5 to g5. And then it's like mate in 8 from there. So just a little something extra today. So if you are fascinated with chess computers, etc., what I am going to do as well, I've got a box full of all my league matches that I've played over the years. Okay, so if I just... What we'll do is, alongside the Road to 2000, we've got all my matches. So there's the Isle of Man, there's the 4 NCL, there's Cannock and Birmingham League matches here. Look, going back to 2015. So if for those who play in league matches, etc., we'll go through all these review, so it's all in good time for the Isle of Wight tournament in February. So yeah, fantastic. Just some ideas to help people get encouraged in playing chess. And if it's not your thing, then fine. I was speaking to a guy last night in Soma, and he was like, I just prefer to spectate. Like people when they watch their family swimming, synchronized swimming, competition swimming, you know, it's all good to spectate and, you know, meet new people, etc. So yeah, all I can say is thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time out. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, share. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Rooks and hooks, and we will see you next time for day 16, probably tomorrow. And we've got a review game 15, day 15 tomorrow as well, haven't we? So I'll bid you good night and have a good rest of the week. See you later. Come on down.